So yeah, they put me in a dark room, interrogated, and I was lucky because the guy who came to interrogate me was a fan. It's like,
interrogate.
yeah, so it's like Wode
know,
Maya, and that's it.
No, you know, for Kenya, interrogation means.
What does that mean in Kenya?
Pliers. Hey manze, asante sana for joining us for another classic episode of the Weekend Edition. I'm your host, Dr. Kingori. Show leo ni nzito sana. Our guest for this episode is one of Africa's top content creators. I trust you'll enjoy this conversation, especially the money tips he will be sharing with us, other than the fact that yeye pia ni jamaa wa power sana. Wode Maya is in the house. Asante sana, asante. We'll be talking to him in a bit, but first tuanze na mbwembwe za hii wiki. Sijui kama mmesikia, Ethiopia just celebrated Happy New Year this week. Na sio Happy New Year 2023, they just ushered in 2016. Yes, mazi.
What?
Can you imagine? 2016. It's so tempting to say hizi ndio countries zinarudisha Africa nyuma. But then manze, Ethiopia is like 7 years behind, and this means that in Ethiopia, maze hata Andrew Kibe bado hajafungua YouTube channel. In fact, in Ethiopia, Andrew Kibe is still a pastor. And this is Ethiopia hata hawajafika COVID. Now, but then again, as much as we make fun of Ethiopia being 7 years behind, it could be an advantage, a great excuse to grow young. Hey, manzi, I'm 29 years old. Ethiopia years. Now, now it's actually a thing. Does akona sema hivyo by the way, kuna Ethiopia years. Footballers always use the Ethiopian calendar for the years. Or how else would you explain that this guy is 22? Now, umse ako 22 legit for it. You can check it up. Now, and speaking of football, maze Harambee Stars walinyorosha Qatar. Mpaka the president had this message for them ahead of their game na South Sudan.
Congratulations, Harambee Stars, for winning against the Qatar national team last week. I am happy very many Kenyans showed up in Qatar to cheer our team. As you're all aware, today at 4 p.m., Harambee Stars will be playing against South Sudan. I want to ask all Kenyans to show up at 4 p.m. to cheer our champions, the Harambee Stars.
Unajua president alipiga take ngapi? Kufanya tu hiyo video ya influencer wa Harambee Stars alafu mwende mbomole huko. Maze unajua? Now, as in, ile kitu Harambee Stars ni wagema maze. Ile kitu wagema walifanyiwa na South Sudan after hiyo kusifiwa kidogo. Had me questioning, President Ruto alikuwa anamaanisha Harambee gani? Ile ya kutoa pesa ama ile ya mchezo? Unajua? Anze, ama national team ilitandikwa home ground kwa sababu Harambee zilibaniwa Kenya. It's illegal now. Yeah? But then you have to give it up for the Kenyan fans always supporting our national team. As in, hizi tunasema hapa ni jokes too, but Kenyans take football seriously. Kuna wasi wa Arsenal hapa? Kuna wasi wa Arsenal? Nyi wote ni wa Man U? No, seriously?
Timu kubwa.
Ati? Chelsea. Me notice time yenye either Man U ama Arsenal imebomolewa sio kwa wasi wa Chelsea wote. But then, ni sawa. I hope mesikia story ya the Man U fan kutoka Eldoret who fainted after losing a bet to eat a whole crate of eggs. Kama Man U angepigwa na Arsenal. Sasa interestingly, mse anaitwa Kipkemoi. Kwa nafaa kuitwa Kibet. But then alikula mayai 15 alafu akafaint. Hakufika the whole crate. Thank God he's safe, but the fact that he survived inamaanisha he's a diehard. But then but let's talk about that for a minute. Kuna watu wanashangaa maze, mayai 15 ni kitu ya mwanaume kulazwa hospitali. But then ukisikia mtu anaongea hivyo, either huo msee sio mwanaume ama hajaigongewa mayai. Manze, and there's another angle actually. There's another angle. Ukisikia story vizuri pia unaweza kuwa tempted kusema life saa zingine inanga balance. Eldoret kuna mwanaume karibu uliwe na mayai. Ukiingia hapa Kahawa kuna wanaume kama si hiyo mayai wangekuwa wamekufa, unajua? Life haina balance. We have a great show lined up for you. Wode Maya joins us on the other end of this short commercial break. See you in a bit. Hey, manze, welcome back to the weekly edition. I'm your host, Dr. Kingori. You know, on this show, we have made it our mission to make sure that we learn as much as possible about money, about anything progressive, about anything that takes you from one level to the next. Following the episode that we did with Miss Trudy, one of the biggest YouTubers in Kenya, you love that episode. He promised to bring back Habiwake, Wode Maya, one of the biggest YouTubers in Africa, one of Africa's youngest legit millionaires. Kwanza, Wode Maya is in the house. Karibu sana. Has Babe taught you how to respond to karibu sana?
Asante sana.
Good vibes. Good vibes. We are going to have a good time.
Thank you.
Is that accurate when I say one of Africa's youngest legit millionaires?
Maybe millionaire in Kenyan shillings.
Ghana, you might know the exchange rate.
With Ghana.
Yes. Ghana, your money is CDs.
Cities, yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, but I deal more in dollars, so.
In dollars?
Yeah.
Let's deal with dollars because CDs mean a lot more back home. Do you remember the first time you felt that you are making money?
I think I danced a lot the first day that I saw money, but that was just $700.
$700?
Yeah, I was so happy because I've never seen $700 that time.
$700 with the exchange rate now, that's almost 100,000.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's almost 100,000.
Yeah.
That's enough for dowry. But then, depending. And do you remember? You've met people?
Yeah.
People doing big things. We are going to talk about what you learned from people, the most inspirational individuals you've gotten to meet. You have also kept on surprising yourself. What's the greatest lesson you've learned in terms of self-belief?
Self-belief, I mean, the day I realized that I own an apartment, I couldn't believe it. But then I saw it happening.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? First time I actually got that apartment, I was sleeping there for free because I couldn't afford it. So somebody gave me to sleep there for a whole year. And then he told me that in a year, you have to buy it. And that is a place that I believe that, I mean, if you're living in Ghana, you know that it's an expensive place to live.
Okay.
But then less than a year, I bought it. And that's when I started believing in myself that I can do anything.
Was that a good financial move? Someone gives you a house for free and then you decide to buy it?
So he gave me that house to inspire or encourage me that I can do it too. I don't know if you understand, because I was pitching in a friend's house when I moved to Accra. So pitching in a friend's house. Now I started making videos, started meeting people, and they were like, you know what? I don't think you need to pitch in a friend's house. I will give you an apartment to live in, to do what you do, because I love what you do. But then at some point when we started talking, it was like, you know what? In a year time, you will own this.
That's a good strategy.
Exactly.
Like you could look for someone to inspire yourself for 1 year and then you move to look for another person to inspire yourself for 1 year.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so in Ghana, you call it patching in someone's house.
Yeah.
Like this is being hosted by someone.
So somebody owns 1 bedroom, a friend. It's like, okay, can I just sleep in your house? So you sleep on the floor, he sleeps on his bed. When his girlfriend comes, you go outside.
So that's what you call patching.
Yep. Accra is the land of hustlers. Accra is tough. Accra is like living in Nairobi.
Okay.
So if you don't have, you have to look for a friend and sleep in his house.
Okay.
Yep.
So did you stay up the whole year before you got the money, or you got the money halfway? And what's this journey like to get to a place that you own the house yourself?
I think 6 months after living in there with my camera guy, I decided to buy it from him.
6 months?
6 months. Because, you know, I didn't know so many things. I mean, I thought putting money in the bank was everything. Yeah, I thought savings was everything. But when I started meeting entrepreneurs across Africa, I realized that putting your money in real estate or land banking was the way to go. So I was saving, right? I had money in the bank. So I thought I've made it in life, you know. But then they told me that you don't need money in the bank. I took the money. I worked extra harder because the money that I had in the bank could not even pay for 1/4 of the price of the property. But then when they started showing me the way, I was like, you know what? I want to work hard. And that's what I did. And 6 months later, I gave him the full money. Can I have the keys? And I think the house is in my wife's name, you know.
Wow.
Yep.
A lot of things to unpack from there.
Yep.
Interesting you say that. I was hanging out with my business mentor this past Sunday,
Yep.
and he said the same thing you said, that money in the bank is for poor people. In fact, he said, his exact words were, saving is for poor people. So what's the formula that they taught you?
So you can buy an apartment, let's say an apartment that costs $70,000, right?
Yes.
In a year later, that apartment, same apartment you bought for $70,000 will increase to $150,000. The price appreciate. When you own a land that you bought maybe $30,000, in 6 months later, that land price can go to $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. So that is like the land value appreciate. When you keep money in the bank, the money doesn't increase.
Does this mean you don't have, as in you get to a place that you don't have money in the bank, that you would get to a supermarket and be, oh, you guys do take land, as in?
No. So what I do is like, as you see me right now, the money that I move around with, it's money that I know that within a month, this is how much I'm going to spend. And something for emergency. I don't keep like lots of money in the bank. All
the money that you move around with,
yep,
is enough for the month.
For the month.
Have you heard about Ngeta?
Exactly. I just don't keep money for 6 months. Like, you know, that, okay, people are like, okay, I have savings somewhere. It's in a real estate or it's in a land that I bought.
Most financial advisors advocate for you being liquid to the level of 6 months of your expenses. Are you saying that's also bad advice?
I'm not going to say that because I don't know what they're saying, but what works best for me, knowing that my money, in terms of creating wealth, it's in something that I can see with my eyes that I appreciate every single day. Because I mean, I can give you an example of a land that we bought. Yes. I think the time that I bought the land, it was $30,000. Now, that land that I'm talking about is $60,000. And this is like 6 months differences. So let's say if I want to sell that land, I make an extra income of $30,000. So it's, to me, I would advise young people, when you have money, don't even keep your money in Kenyan shillings. Keep it in dollars. Because let's say today, the Kenyan shillings value depreciate. You lose all your money. Because that's what happened to us in Ghana. Our dollar used to be 3 Ghana cedis. So when you have $1, you earn 3 cedis. Guess what? Our cedi went as low as 13 cedis. So imagine if you had all this money, your money just go down just because of the economy and living in Africa, anything can happen. Yeah, I mean,
now I understand that the economy.
Anything can happen.
I understand the economy comparatively. Yep. You used to have $1, 3 cedis.
Yes.
Still 10 bob, 3 cedis. Yes. So now, when you go back, zilikuwa tatu, si ndio? Now, when you look back in retrospect, what decisions changed your life?
I think listening to my mentors, changed my life. Because I was living a life that I didn't have anyone to look up to. I didn't have anyone that I used to listen to. But then when I started listening, you know, I mean, people can share ideas with you. People can tell you what they've done. But then the ability to listen and implement is the most important thing for me. And when I started listening to them, implementing what they tell me, and here we are today. So I believe young people everyone needs to have a mentor. Somebody that, not your age mate, because especially the guys, you know, look for people that are older than you. They are not jealous of you. They just want to see you, I mean, be better. So I think it's the most important thing for me.
Look for people that are older than you.
Older than you. Yeah, very. Yeah. It's very important because we might be the same age mate. I might have something that you don't have. And then you end up I mean, it's not your fault. Envy and jealousy is normal in the industry. You get what I mean? But looking for somebody who is not your age mate, older than you, who talks to you, happy for you whenever you win, is the way to go.
Okay. Girls in Roysambu understood the assignment. Now, when it comes to how, let's say, for example, you have visited different countries, and when our audience member Eric asked about what you think the problem with Africa is, and you started talking about the kind of people we elect, electing people who just speak in church, people going to funerals, I understood why they deported you in Uganda. So, what was that about?
I think I went to Uganda. I was living in Uganda to Tanzania, and I had a camera in my hands, and I was told that by the immigration officer that I came to spy on the president.
Oh, they thought you were a spy?
Yeah, they thought I was a spy because I was holding a GoPro, those small cameras those days. So yeah, they put me in a dark room, interrogated, and I was lucky because the guy who came to interrogate me was a fan. It's like,
interrogate?
Yeah, so it's like Wode Maya, and that's it.
No, you know, for Kenya, interrogation means...
What does that mean in Kenya?
Pliers.
Look, it's like he was coming to ask questions. Are you really a spy?
Okay.
You understand? And
okay.
When he came, I found out he was a fan. And
they didn't have YouTube, the guys who arrested you?
No, I don't think so.
You also mentioned you've been in Tanzania.
Yep.
How did you communicate in Tanzania?
Swahili, you know. But I mean, some few people speak English in Tanzania. And I had a classmate in Tanzania, so yeah.
So you know the 3 people who speak English in Tanzania, as in... we had a guest on the show who said actually it's like 3 people in Tanzania who speak English. What's the most fun African country you visited then?
Nigeria. Yep.
Oh. And when Trudy was on the show last time, we said Ghanaians are decent Nigerians. That's almost been validated. Why Nigeria?
I think if you're looking for the realest people on the continent...
The realest?
The realest. You would never find a Nigerian anywhere. Like the realest. I mean, if a Nigerian got your back, he got your back. You just have to know a real or a true Nigerian. And this is something that a lot of us are missing, you know, with the perception that we have about Nigerians. Yeah, but if you meet a real Nigerian, he's the realest person you'll ever meet. Because I had classmates that were from Nigeria, and trust me, I've never seen anyone like a Nigerian.
Really?
Yeah.
As in, are you talking Nigeria, the country, or Roysambu? No. There's a difference. There's a difference because of the impression people have of Nigerians. Are you saying when you go to Nigeria, the country, the vibe is different?
The vibe is totally different. The real Nigerians are in Nigeria. You know,
the real Nigerians are in Nigeria.
You know?
So who do we have here? Well, that's a strong statement.
Yeah, the real Nigerians are in Nigeria. You know, Nigeria is always misjudged just because there are 200 million people. Okay. So imagine a population of 200 million people, and we give Kenya maybe 3 Nigerians, and you guys will be complaining. No, there are over 130 million. So the ones that you have, you know,
the
few
ones
of them.
That we have.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You have Nigerians here, right?
Yes.
There's Nigerian everywhere.
We have Nigerians here.
Yeah.
They have like their own...
community. Eh?
Yes, community.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
But of course, that's on a lighter note. Nigerians, brothers and sisters, good vibes. Yeah. We're actually bringing an ambassador from Nigeria on the show in the next 2 weeks. So
that's
good
amazing.
Vibes. Very good vibes, actually. So now, of the countries you have visited, do you ever, in terms of investment, are there African countries that you've been tempted to invest in, or yours is the message, but you go invest back home?
No, I think I've tried investing in some countries in Africa.
Tried?
Tried. I mean, Kenya is one of them. Yeah, trying to, because Kenya...
Kenya you invested or you took from?
No, I invested.
Okay.
You know, Kenya real estate is kind of like affordable as compared to Ghana.
Really?
So yeah, I decided to invest in real estate in Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other country that you feel is good vibes? You've been to Rwanda?
Yeah, I've been to Rwanda.
What's Rwanda like?
It's a beautiful country, clean country. Yes. wonderful people. Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite countries in Africa. Yeah,
Rwanda.
Rwanda.
But do you ever worry about, let's say, for example, how are you able to express yourself like you would wish to express yourself, knowing how uptight some African countries are? Like, say, Uganda, you've been able to go back Uganda after deportation, right?
Yeah.
A country like Rwanda, I'm told they are very, very strict in terms of media, right? Are you able to express yourself like you should, or you know how to limit yourself?
I think for me, my message is pretty simple. I'm not in the country to interfere in your politics. I'm not in your country to interfere in your economy. I'm in your country to showcase the beauty of the country. So when it comes to expressing myself, I feel free in every country in Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
And true to that word, you showcase the beauty of Kenya back in Ghana very well. Yeah. Now, what's the deepest lesson you've ever learned about money from someone you've spoken to? I believe, have you interviewed Aliko Dangote?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Yeah.
As in, what's the deepest lesson you've learned about money? Because most people view Africa as corruption and just corruption, right? Are there people who make legit money, or there's so much to be concerned about?
There are so many Africans that are making legit money. It's just that Africans themselves don't believe that people like this are making legit money, because when they look at themselves, they keep on asking, how did he get this money? Okay. You know, but first of all, can we ask Elon Musk how Elon Musk made his money? We don't ask. But we tend to ask more questions when we see a successful Africans trying to, attribute their money to something else, which for me, it doesn't make sense. I was with, what's the name of the owner of Pick and Peel? Kimani? I was with him just 2 days ago. And I couldn't believe that such a Kenyan exists, because he took me to his factory, and I thought, okay, we are done. Then he takes me to a whole new factory, and I'm like, how many factories do you have? Then he's like, come with me. Then he takes me to another factory. So yes. In a period of 2 hours, we went to 3 different factories that is owned by one person living in Kenya. And I'm like, how do Kenyans see such a person? How many Kenyans are talking about such a person? You know, we always tend to be negative about our own, and this is a problem of Africans.
Okay. Can
we start praising people just like the way we praise Elon Musk and the Facebook owner?
Okay.
So
we don't recognize
we don't. We tend to be negative about people who are successful in Africa.
Okay. Thank you very much for the good vibes. Wapi makofi ya Wode Maya? Our conversation with you has been so much fun. Thank you for letting me talk to Jessica on your phone. Yeah, Jessica Os. The third name is Samforo.
So OS is Opare Safu. So Jessica OS. It's an initial from the middle and the surname.
Ah.
Yeah, Safu.
Okay. Thank you. That was I never knew I would have such a moment, and I think it hit me. That was big for me. Big vibes. Ndawambia hiyo siku nyingine kwa mkutano zetu, si ndio? Si ndio? Thank you very much for making time for us. And thank you, Trudy. Si ndio? Endelea na kazi poa. Otherwise, that's it for the weekend edition. See you next week. My name is Dr. Kingori.